unfortunately, I am here to say that there are times when I have tried everything. What helps most? What support you need? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Molly. I mainly do mental health video. Hey, my name's Molly and I mainly do mental health videos, but sometimes I do lifestyle videos instead. And today I am going to be discussing tips to help with panic attacks, after panic attacks, and how to help people that have had a panic attack or are having a panic attack. Now, today I am feeling pretty anxious and I wasn't actually going to film, but then I thought, well, this is the whole reason why I've started the channel. So I wrote down some tips that helped me and I thought, let's get in front of the camera, let's talk, and hopefully I'll be able to help some people out there that are suffering or that are trying to support someone that suffers as well. So let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start with during a panic attack. Now, during a panic attack, if you can feel a panic attack coming on, then my first big tip is to get somewhere that is more quiet. If you are in work or you're in school, then ask if you can take a break, go and find a quiet place, try to just continue breathing as best that you can. I know as well as anybody, when you are in that state, sometimes it is difficult to just even function, but if you are capable of removing yourself from the situation that you're in, either be by yourself or take a trusted friend, family member, colleague, and just take yourself completely out of the situation that you're in, and you want to have as little going on as possible. So you want a quiet room. I've gone, and I know this doesn't sound the most hygienic, I have gone to the toilet before. You just want somewhere that there's not much going on, because when you're having a panic attack, the more that's going on around you, the more noise, it just heightens, everything's heightened. You will start concentrating and getting lost in what is happening, and it's harder to bring yourself back. Now, I know that a lot of people will have heard of breathing exercises before, but what you need to do, you need to really breathe in and count, breathe out and count. And the idea behind this is that you are putting all of your concentration on your breathing. Some people find it easier to put the hand on the heart as they're breathing in and out to get that rhythm. It really is just bringing yourself concentrating on one thing. Now, another great tip is there's a name for it, I think it's the four things, or I'll leave it up on the screen, but it's basically, you want to think of one thing that you can taste, one thing that you can see, one thing that you can feel, and one thing that you can hear. And again, the whole idea is just trying to bring yourself, concentrate on one thing that's around you. Don't get lost in a panic attack, don't get lost in the feeling. It's not always going to be avoidable. And unfortunately, I am here to say that there are times when I have tried everything. I have gone to a place on my own, I have done as much breathing exercise as possible, and I have tried to think of something I can taste and feel, but it's just not possible. Sometimes it's because I haven't realised the panic attack is even coming before I'm already that worked up that it's impossible to actually do anything about it, and it's inevitable. So that leads me on to tip 2, is to have a trusted person. Now, if you have a friend, family member, colleague that you are comfortable enough to discuss your panic attacks with, your mental illness, your anxiety, and you explain to them prior to obviously the event of having the panic attack what helps most, what support you need, try to help them understand the signs that you might be going to have a panic attack. Because I know personally, I've got one of my friends who can look at me before I've even realised I'm going to have a panic attack and know. And my partner, luckily as well, is very aware of me and how I act. So often he will notice before I've actually entered into that full-blown panic stage, something's not right, maybe we need to get somewhere, maybe we need to go and take 5 minutes, let's calm as much as possible. And that is a really good tip if you do have someone, if you're in school, if you've got a teacher that you can go to and you've discussed that with them prior. And also in school, I always advise, if you have a word with the school, have a conversation and be in a position where you are able to just leave the classroom without being questioned. Obviously, don't take advantage of this, but it's something that is helpful, because trying to get up off your seat and then explain, I'm going to have a panic attack, and that is just going to make things worse. The same in your work environment. If you are able to have something in place so that you are able to just get up and leave the situation without anybody questioning why you've gone, and then explain afterwards, that's another really good tip as well, because it takes away that stress of having to try to explain to someone what's happening while it's in the middle of or about to happen. So that's a really good tip as well. Now, in terms of after a panic attack, I have a few tips for after a panic attack. A lot of people don't realise that when you have a panic attack, it is not just you have the panic attack and then you're fine. You can have a panic attack, it can last anywhere from 5 minutes up to an hour in a lot of cases. And when you've had that panic attack, you feel drained, you feel super anxious, you can feel achy, you can feel sick. You can also be prone to having another panic attack just because of the state that you were in, and it is really draining. So I always say, if you've had a panic attack, then firstly, drink plenty of water. You need to get that water into your body. You'll be tired, exhausted, shaky. Drink some water. Try to eat something sugary, get your energy levels up, because sometimes your energy levels really drop when you've had a panic attack, and you can feel quite faint. I know that I have actually fainted in the past. So make sure you're really looking after your basic needs. I enjoy going for a walk. Now, I know this isn't always possible because you could be in work, you could be in school, but going for a walk and really clearing your mind, taking in the nature, taking in your surroundings can be really helpful. I find that really helpful. And also having a soothe box or a relaxation box, just something that you have that has things in that box to really help you once you've had the panic attack, whether that is a fidget spinner, remember that they were a thing, something that you can fidget with, a book that you enjoy reading, some essential oils, anything that helps you feel calm and relaxed. If you have a specific box that has those things in, then not only is that going to help you if you are alone and you need help before or after a panic attack, because you've got a specific thing that you can go to and say, this is going to help me. Or it can be helpful if you've got that and you've had a panic attack and a friend or family member's there, and they can go get the box and they can give you the box, and you can then use the things in that box to help you feel better, feel more relaxed. Now, another tip that I have, whether it is before or after a panic attack, is listening to music, but not sad music. Now, I know personally I am definitely guilty of this, especially when I was younger, when I already felt not very good. I felt a bit upset, a bit anxious, and I would put on the saddest songs. Songs are there to bring out emotion in us, and if you put a sad song on, it is going to bring out sad emotions. And I do understand why it's easy to do this and to feel like you're just in that zone, you're in that sad zone. It will make you feel worse. And I understand a lot of people will be guilty of doing this exact thing, because I definitely was. But putting on uplifting, happy music may seem silly at first, and you may feel like you're faking it, you're not really feeling it, but that music will lift you up. It will bring more joy to you than putting on sad songs and crying for an hour on your own. That's only going to make you feel worse. And in terms of if you're trying to help someone that's having a panic attack, the first thing to do is to stay with the person. Don't run off, don't panic. The person's not going to die, but at that moment they may feel like they are. And the worst thing that you can do is run off and leave that person on their own if they need you as a support system. So as much as it is distressing and you might feel like you need to get somebody else, if you know it's just a panic attack that they're having, and when I say just, I don't mean panic attacks aren't a serious thing, I just mean if you've got no other medical concern, stay with that person and help them breathe through, help them stay calm, help them get somewhere where they feel comfortable, and talk to them, encourage them. Obviously, if the person has already discussed with you prior steps to help them, that will be a really good thing for you to know exactly what you're supposed to do. But if they haven't, just offering gentle encouragement and staying calm yourself is really, really going to help that person, bringing them back down, bringing them around, giving them something to focus on. And it's a really good tip. I know it can be easy to panic, and it is not nice seeing someone in such a state, but you being calm in turn will pass that on to the person that is struggling, and I know they'll be grateful for it once they're feeling better. And really just check in with that person. So as they're going through the anxiety attack, they're going through the panic attack, just check in, like, how are you feeling? Is there anything that I could get you? Is there anything that you need? Is there anything that's going to make you feel better right now? A lot of the time the person will know what they need, and if they don't, again, you just being there supporting them is more than enough. But if you, sometimes that person just needs somebody to ask them exactly what it is that they need at that moment, and if they're capable of telling you, then they will. So I really do think that that is an important thing. Don't forget that even though that person's in a state of panic, they are still aware of what's going on, and it is often just that they need you to ask them what they need so that they can tell you. And as I said, prior plans are really helpful for this, especially if that person knows already exactly what it is that they need at that time when they have that attack. But if that's not in place, just ask. Just keep asking how they're doing, keep a constant update on their emotional state, how they're feeling. And that is just a really important tip. I think it is one that it's probably one of the most important tips. If you've had a panic attack, there is nothing wrong with needing to take an extended period of time after that attack to rest. If you're at home and you need a nap, go and have that nap. Don't feel bad about that nap. If you've got things to do, pushing yourself on to do something that you're not capable or are too tired of doing isn't good for you. It's not a bad thing to rest, and I think that a lot of people are scared of resting. We always feel like we need to earn our rest, but if your body is telling you you need to rest, the worst thing that you can do is try to fight that. It's only going to make you feel worse, and you'll be more productive if you take that break, you give your body that time to rest and heal, and then you do the task ahead. If you're in school, letting a teacher know, I'm not feeling ready to go back to class, is absolutely fine. And if you need your parents to talk to the school and explain this to them, then I definitely would recommend asking your parents to speak to them. Maybe set up some sort of care plan so that it's set into what they know they need to do. And also, if you're in work, if you are in work and you've had a panic attack, if you need to go home, I know that it can be difficult in some jobs, and I fully understand that. I've been in jobs myself before, and the worry of losing your job is definitely not something that you want to have on your mind. But if you do have the option to have an occupational health meeting and you are somebody who does suffer with anxiety or panic attacks, ask for an occupational health meeting, and they will put together a plan that your employer has to then follow. And just make sure that it is included in that plan, that you might need to go home after a panic attack. You might not be capable of continuing the job for that day, because a job, although we need it to live, and I work full time myself, I understand, it's still not more important than your health, because you can't work if you continue to run yourself into the ground and then end up so ill that you're unable to work. That is worse than taking that afternoon to go home and rest. And occupational health can really help you with that if your employer has that option in place in wherever it is that you work. I did want to mention medication as well. I did say at the beginning of the video I was feeling particularly anxious. I do take propranolol as a help for my anxiety. Now, I always recommend speaking to a healthcare professional, because sometimes they can offer you things like propranolol, and I take that specifically for my panic attacks and to help prevent panic attacks, because it helps the body and the physical symptoms of a panic attack be reduced, not be as intense, because I often get quite shaky. I can get really fast heart palpitations, and that's what this is designed to help. It might not be for everyone, and obviously you should always discuss it with a healthcare provider. And I do take other medication for mental health, so I'm an advocate for mental health medication if it's needed. I don't think it should be any different to needing it for a physical illness, but I do understand medication's not for everyone and it has to be your choice. But I did just want to mention it at the end, because I do find medication has really helped me. I did go through a phase multiple times in my life where I was having 3, 4, 5 panic attacks a day and physically couldn't do anything. I couldn't function, and I would take propranolol once my doctor provided it to me, and I used to take that quite regularly. Now I only take it when I feel I need it, and that really does help me. I just wanted to mention as well at the end, there is a specific hotline that is really useful for people who are feeling maybe they're on their own, maybe they don't have a family member or friend that they can ask for support. You can ring this number. It's a free number from most providers. I will list the providers on the screen that it's a free number from. I'll leave the number on the screen as well and down below, but they are specifically designed for people who are in panic, in a panic state. They will talk you through, they will help you with your breathing exercises, with bringing you back around. They're also there for people with OCD and phobias to talk you through when you need it. So they are a really useful source, especially for anybody that's feeling particularly alone. Maybe you feel quite isolated, or you don't want to discuss your mental health with a friend or family member because you're worried about stigma. Ringing the hotline that I'm going to leave here is a great alternative option, so that nobody should be left to feel alone if they're going through anxiety or a panic attack. And I'll also leave, I think there's two numbers, so there's an adult line and a young person line, both free, and I'll leave all that information below as well and up on the screen. So I just wanted to leave that as a note at the end as well. Now, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, I would love for you to leave them down below. And if you do have any other tips on anxiety attacks or panic attacks that really help you, please leave them in the comments down below, because they could really help somebody else who might need some assistance, and I'd love to know them as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it really does help, and subscribe if you haven't already, and tick the bell notification, because that really helps the channel and get the message across to more people. And I will see you again next time. Thanks again for watching, and wherever that you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, day or night, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.